to begin our meeting of the Norwood Historical Commission. And I would like to introduce members of the commission. Well, just Cheryl.
Cheryl Doyle.
Attorney Yesko.
Caroline Panis.
Jude Howard.
Chuck Burgess.
And hopefully Tom will come pretty soon. So the reason I'm calling you Tom, I would like to just take a look at the minutes of the last meeting on June 25th, and if anybody has any changes or anything. Otherwise, God bless you.
Thank you.
Motion to accept.
Yeah, I make a motion to accept their great minutes. That was a good meeting.
Second.
Second, okay.
In favor? Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. On the agenda is a discussion for Norwood Press Complex, or I have not heard anything about that, except somebody mentioned it just last month or something like that. But do you know anything about that,
So
John?
the owners have reached out. They're seeking support for Massachusetts Historical Rehabilitation Tax Credit application. Joe Collins and I put together a memorandum that was in the packet you received last week. He also put in a separate memo from him in his role as Economic Development Director in support. And we have representatives of, I forget the company, Oris Incorporated, the owners of the Norwood Press Complex, who are here remotely. They're out of the country, but they're able to join us remotely.
So are they seeking a letter of support from the Norwood Historical Commission? Is that the bottom line from us?
That is their ask. If we'd like to chat with them, we
I would
certainly
love
can.
to,
Sure.
so-
If you're able to unmute, I assume you can hear us because I see nodding heads.
There you go.
If you could introduce yourselves, please.
Yes, we can.
So if you could introduce yourselves, please, and tell us what the plan is for the project and your ask of the commission.
Well, you can take the first part of what the plan is for the property we recently acquired, and then I can elaborate on the ask from the commission.
Sure. Okay. So quickly introducing, my name is Rahul Mutha. I'm the founder, CEO of Oris. With me I have Poonam Mutha. She is the president and CEO of Oris. We recently purchased the building in March of 2025. And we are a software company, and our intent is to restore the building to its original style, right from windows to the bricks to the north-facing sawtooth roof. So we are studying through all the archives of the building and going back and designing the elements of the building to the way it used to be.
Music to our ears.
And then the ask of the commission?
Yeah, so the ask is to start with some support that the Norwood Historic Commission supports us in this effort to keep the brick facade and maintain the building's grandeur as far as possible. And the first step we need from the town is a letter of support for this renovation project.
I'd like to take a view of the commission members, but I would support it wholeheartedly. Caroline?
Yes, aye.
Tony, would you like to say something?
I would. First of all, I want to thank you
Thank you.
for coming to the commission first. It shows great respect for the property, so that impresses me a lot. I'd also encourage you, if you'd like, to even access the Norwood Historical Society. They have a lot of records on this complex as well, including photos that your company would probably enjoy having access to and reading. And I hope that the Mass Historical Commission will look favorably upon your request, and this is exactly the type of rehabilitation and redevelopment that we're looking for when it comes to historic properties, to blend the old and make it new and refreshed and usable, and what better than software companies every 21st, if not 22nd century. So thank you very much for your respect. I wish you good luck with this project, and I hope you find Norwood a great place to have business in.
Sure, once when we are there, we'll invite you all, and I personally, we've been living in Norwood since 2007. Our kids were born and they grew up here, and we've come down to the day house and looked at the tour long time back when they were little. Now we come back to find our building in there.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Good luck with everything. I hope it all works out well.
Thank you. We are new to this process, so we are learning ourselves on the go. So this was the first effort, and I thought we should reach out and let you all know of our plans of it and the letter of support as we go. If anything comes up, I will reach out.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm not sure of the extent of the project because the Explore School, I
Right.
believe it was called.
Exploration.
It was on the lower building to the left of the big tower. And it's my understanding that the big tower, that's the storage facilities, isn't it? The rental storage?
Extra space.
Extra space, thank you for the name.
You're welcome.
Are you assuming the whole complex or just that one side of the building?
Just the exploration center for now.
Just the left side, Chuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's rather plain, isn't it, in my recollection? Right, you know, it's just kind of a square, look like an addition to the original property. Or are they separate properties?
The press has been looking like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's nothing to the right of that low building.
Oh,
And they are attached, I might, is that correct? To the
Yes,
two
so
buildings?
just to give you some background, the
Yes.
property from the beginning always had 3 owners, going back to 1894. So you have 2 towers. You have a clock tower, which is a 3-story building. That's extra storage. You have a second tower, which is a smaller one, and that building has 2 owners. MRG is 930 Washington Street. So they have the smaller tower and the building to the left of it, and we are to the right of it, which is in the middle. And all the buildings in that area, they have tunnels underground, and they have connecting passages also between the 2 buildings.
Well, I just wanted clarification on how extensive the rehab would be. And I'm for any kind of restoration or respect for this property, and, you know, I hope it spreads to the neighbors.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's always good to see someone take a part of a block and then increase its value and kind of influence everybody to keep their property up. So you got my vote.
I think, go ahead.
No, I was gonna let you go.
What?
Were you gonna speak?
I was going to say something. I was wondering, Joe, if you had a letter from the relatives who, in their request for a letter of support from the Historical Commission, giving us a background on what they just said. Do you have a letter of record?
Have a letter of record. Well, we have a few emails going back and forth, but not necessarily like a written letter, but I'm sure that they can provide that.
I think it would be good for them to provide it to us
Okay.
on their letterhead. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have 2 questions.
Sure.
So are you only restoring the section you're taking, or are you restoring the entire building?
Yes, so we've purchased 932 Washington Street. So we are restoring that part of the building. It's roughly 65,000 square feet. 930 Washington Street is also for sale, and we are talking to the owners to buy that part of the building also. which will happen probably in the next 6 months. And then the plan is, as we get that part of the building, we'll restore that part of it also.
Oh, okay. So then I think this will be more for Joe. So because they're going for the historic tax thing, can you explain so people understand? Because normally we don't ever get anybody asking us. Can you explain to like the board and also the people at home how that works, or are you able to, or?
A little bit, I would assume it has something to do with probably their corporate or type of income taxes they'd be paying the federal government. I'm sure that actually Poonam and Raul could explain that process a little bit better, as this is the first time someone's actually asked me for some assistance on this as well. But in addition to the Commonwealth, I know that later on they're also going to be applying to the federal government to get federal tax credits in addition to the state.
Okay. But does the town of Norwood still tax on the building and the land?
Yeah, this will have no impact on us at all.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure that people
Yeah.
at home understand, that
Right.
what they're doing doesn't impact the town, but it impacts, it's a good impact for them to restore the building.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great way to save them a little bit of money without using any municipal resources at all.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great idea. I think it's lovely that you guys care enough about an old building to put the thought into restoring it and doing all the research and everything, because it's on our main drag. So I really, really do appreciate the both of you.
Thank you. Also, the first step in this is to get that, get the building listed on the Commonwealth and the historic list of buildings. So once we apply for that, it'll get listed officially. So any other tenant, owner wants to do anything, it'll be listed on the registry of historic.
You have to make an application for the National Register for Historic Preservation, and the process takes about 2 years to do that. The information on that is on the website of the Commonwealth. It's under the Secretary of State. So it does take about 2 years from beginning to end. But that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I'm going to just have a vote of the members of the commission to see if they would like to send this letter of support.
Could I ask one more question?
Sure.
Just one more question, please. So is your current plan and even future plan all to use the property as business or eventually maybe even mixed use? Or is it just?
It's always, yeah.
Self-use, yeah. We need the space, amount of space. Last 10 years, we've been leasing in One Edgewater Drive, and we were falling short of place.
Okay.
So we had close to 20,000 square feet there, and we wanted to grow. So this space is for our own requirement, and no plans of subleasing or tenants yet.
Great, thank you.
Lovely, yes. Cheryl, would you like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that the Historic Commission sends a letter in support of this project.
Once we receive the
Yep.
letter,
Asking us, yeah.
requesting it from them.
Yep.
Yes.
May I just interject
Of course.
briefly? I just want to reference the memo Joe and I put together. So that the commission vote to compose a letter of support for the application and submit a formal request to the Board of Selectmen to do the same. They will need that in order to fulfill their application.
Yes.
Oh,
It
Oh,
was-
okay.
is from both the commission and the selectmen.
Okay.
So that could
So-
be part of the motion.
All right,
Yes.
I amend my motion to
Include that.
include a letter to the Board of Selectmen as well.
no, okay. Do I hear a
And I will second that. I think it's very exciting.
Okay.
It is very exciting.
Caroline, do we have a brain freeze?
So is there any other discussion on that motion?
Yeah, discussion?
I think we,
Is it seconded?
Yes.
Just a
Any
little
discussion?
discussion? Yeah, please. I just wanted to know that in the wording of what we're supporting their intent to go forward with this. I mean, what would be the wording? Do we make the judgment that it has historical significance? That's what they're looking for, that the building has. In other words, they're looking for material that will help them eventually get the designation.
Yes, but we can provide some of that for them.
Given, okay, so what I guess we need in their letter to us would be some specifics.
Right.
Chuck, if you take a look in the last page of the memo from Joe and I,
Yeah.
the representatives from Oris actually provided a template letter, and they included all of the information from,
Yeah.
regarding their project.
Okay.
So it's a-
Then we'll go over
It's
that.
it's basically plug and
I
play, is the
haven't
request.
read that yet, but I will. All right, wonderful, thank you. I'm looking at the screen, but they can't know that I'm looking at that. Thank you.
Well, thank you again. We really are very excited
So, yeah.
about doing this, and we really look for your support, especially any archives you have. We have been collecting older pictures of the building, any records, etc. So anything that you guys have, when we are back in the US, we'd like to come visit, collect some of that, and then study it and try to bring it as close to as it is. If you have a minute, I can share some pictures of what we have seen and done so far, so you can see the beauty of the building. And if you guys are busy, I can skip it.
No, we'd love to see it, but first of all, because I mean, we had a motion and a second, and the discussion, we'd just like to take a vote. So we'd like to take a vote after he shows the pictures or before he shows the pictures.
Huh?
All right,
Half a dozen or the other.
well, take a vote now. Cheryl,
Aye.
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 and the chair votes aye. We'd be glad to see your pictures. Now, go ahead.
Okay, let me share my screen. Let me know if you're able to see it.
Not yet.
Okay.
We've taken a vote and it's unanimous, so it's been approved.
Yeah, it's,
So now
thank you.
we would love to see your pictures.
Yeah, it's stuck. My screen is stuck. For some reason.
okay.
Let me try to log out and log back in. Give me 1 second.
When in doubt, reboot.
Do you think we can wait till?
Are you able to see the screen now?
No, not yet.
Okay. I think it's something on my side.
Alright.
Probably the software is not allowing me to share the screen. But when I come in person next time and meet you guys, I'll definitely show you what we have done.
Great.
Thank you so much,
Thank
and
you
we wish
very
you
much.
guys great
And then that's where
success.
I'm seeing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, now,
Bye.
thanks. The next item on the agenda is Norwood Central Railroad Station Building Restoration and Preservation Study Scope of Work. John, would you like to?
Sure. At the commission's last meeting, the commission voted and requested that Jason and I and Kristen Phelps work on a scope of work related to the money that we received, the earmark from MassDOT. So this is a draft for the commission's approval, and assuming that there are no further substantive edits, we would put this out to bid later this week.
Thank you. But I'd like to ask you a question. Was the money from MassDOT or was the money from the Massachusetts legislature?
From the legislature through MassDOT.
Okay.
So our contact on the Commonwealth side is at MassDOT.
Okay, because I thought it went through the budget of the legislature. Because I just want to be clear on that.
It was appropriate, which was then appropriated to
From the
MassDOT.
state to MassDOT. Okay, very good. Okay.
So we're just seeking the commission's approval on this scope of work,
Yes.
which was attached.
Yes. Let's just read that for a minute.
Do you want a motion on it?
Well, did you read everything?
Can I just add a comment?
Sure.
I just want to say that I really like, under the deliverables, that this will include one in-person presentation with question and answers to the Historical Commission. Really appreciate that. That's on the bottom. Yeah. So that's good. But,
All right, then,
I mean, $25,000.
since John and Jason did all this and to prepare us for this, do I have a motion to approve it? So,
Yes.
Aye.
You need a motion, then you need to motion seconded to do it, then take the vote.
Yes.
Well, we're approving, I thought we were approving the,
So you're approving
this
The-
proposal.
the proposal,
to bid.
yes, but you need a motion
To approve. the
to
motion.
approve it, that they can put it out to bid, then you need somebody to second that motion, and then you need to take a vote of the board
That is correct.
to approve of it.
It's just that my brain
It's
is
fine.
frozen today.
It's fine, we
Do
all
we
have
a
those
motion
days,
on the
so
floor?
that's what I wanted to make the motion on, to approve it, to send it out.
Thank you.
Well,
And I'll
exactly.
second it.
Okay.
As it was presented to you.
Presented,
Exactly what
yes.
I thought I was doing. So I'll say aye again.
Okay, and I say aye.
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 All right.
Any discussion or anything on this at all?
We already did it.
I think you already did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. First of all, thank you, John.
Thank you for all the work that you guys did with this. We do appreciate it.
Very welcome.
So, would Wendy Frontier be advised, or should I send her an email?
We will reach out, she's on the list of vendors to contact, but
Oh, okay.
we also need an approval for the next one as well, which is the Highland Cemetery and St.
Oh, yes,
Gabriel's.
yes.
So the request was the same to Jason and I, and this is
See, I told you.
That's all right. This is
This
the product of that request. Similarly, we worked with Kristen Phelps from Community Preservation on this as well.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to send this out to bid as well, as written in the scope of work.
Do I hear a second?
For Highland Cemetery?
Yep.
Right, well, you did a good job documenting all those letters, John. So whomever, gets this job, we want them to understand we have a lot of information
Yes.
already. It's hard to quantify, there's so much of it. So, I think.
Did I hear a second? Did you second it?
I'll second it.
Okay.
I still have one more comment.
Yeah.
Because the original letter from the Board of Selectmen is so old, like over 10 years old.
Yes, but I think they approved it recently.
Was it reiterated, now that we're asking, I'm wondering if the Mass Historical Commission's gonna need a new letter of support from the Board of Selectmen to them to push this forward, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Or,
But
I guess the,
I'm not saying, town meeting did approve this.
Yeah.
right.
We could certainly include that as
If
the record of vote.
Right, if the preservationist thinks we need it, I just don't want that to foul things up, because the
no, but
letter's
they,
They already sent the
they already
list.
approved it.
Yeah. They had already sent a list of what they need to finish this.
Right.
So that's why this scope of work is done. They have
No,
all
I
the
know
other
that.
stuff,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
or you're just trying to dot an I and cross the
Yeah,
T
because
just in case?
the letter from the Board of Selectmen to Mass Historical Commission, which was required to,
On the original.
yeah, on the original
10 years ago.
movement to
14.
push a registration application forward, is 11 years old. So I'm wondering if there's any statute of limitations. The preservationists will know. If they need a letter, it's
Yeah.
not a problem.
Shut
Would you want to just present it when it goes to the board to say they, you know, they affirm that the letter of, and their support in
Yeah, the
was it
president- yeah, the
2019
yeah.
is still in effect?
Yeah, the preservationists, I think.
Just a footnote?
I don't know that this needs to go to the board.
Because
Yeah.
Okay.
before it went to town
Just on their
meeting,
letter.
it had to be approved on the application
Yeah.
by the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, so it's
Because
already,
it's
yeah.
town-owned property.
I know that. The letter I'm
Right.
talking about is actually the letter that went to Massachusetts Historical Commission as required.
Oh, Massachusetts.
Yes.
is-
I have no doubt about the support locally. It's that for national registration, to instigate that paperwork,
No, I don't think it would be.
the preservationist
doing,
will know. She'll see that on record.
I think if they haven't asked, they
Yeah,
will
they'll
let
ask,
us
yeah,
know.
they'll ask for it. But yes, I'm
Respond.
very, and this is another very exciting project. I'm thrilled to get this moving, absolutely.
Okay, so I want to approve, we've got a motion,
Yep.
a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
All right.
wonderful.
Unanimous.
Thank you for all that, thank you very much.
Okay, next on the list, Oceanic Park. Update on the progress. Chuck, you had a meeting
We did, a very productive meeting. I thought.
with,
John and Mark Ryan of the Public Works Department. It was very interesting to really take a real close look at it and walk it. We walked it a couple of times, looked at it from different perspectives, tried to see what it was like in our mind's eye. I think having Mr. Ryan there was most helpful because he brings a whole different perspective and he really, you know, his department has been working in that area forever. And we noticed a couple of things that in addition to doing the wall, when the last sidewalk was done there on that stretch, the Winter Street stretch of the road between Shattuck Park Road and Bond, there was big boulders askew. And the sidewalk that was poured, and then they've been moved since. So in other words, those rocks were out of place, formed the shape of the sidewalk along the park wall. And now that the rocks have moved somehow on their own, it's hazardous to walking.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody could put a foot down there, or a baby carriage could go in there. So having Mark there was wonderful to have that addressed. He was also able to identify many of the trees that have grown up since, some through it, that would have to be taken care of. Many of them, by looking at them, we found one that was leaning right against the street, and the wires was going to be addressed right away because it's a hazard. So it was very productive from a lot of points of view. And Mark's input was fantastic, and he was wholly in favor of this and a champion. And then through the discussions, and I'm going to let John take it over from here, because in our discussions, we came up with this kind of way to go ahead. Go ahead.
Mark recommended, and Chuck and I both agreed, and that's what we're presenting to the commission, to engage the services of a landscape architect who would really take a look at the whole thing and make some recommendations. engage with the community on what they want that to look like. So that would be part of the whole package, and then present some recommendations and cost estimates.
Well, I think initially that the commission was interested in a dry stone wall.
And
Right. So the trustees, and I specifically recall reading something from Miss Maud Shattuck, who was the last member of the Shattuck family, that the Shattuck Park as a whole has to be left in its natural state. No cement walks, no this, no that, no anything. Because it was just to be a natural park. And you know, it meets with conservation. Imagine she thinking about this all the way back then. But actually, even at that time, they thought of a parkway going from Nickel Street to Walpole Street. However, the Board of Selectmen at that time denied that parkway, to have that. But as long as it's kept in its natural state, I think the commission could apply for a feasibility study, or this would take place for a feasibility study.
that's what this is, will be a
Right.
feasibility study.
Right, but for the money to come from the Community Preservation Commission.
That is the plan. As you recall, the last meeting, Kristen Phelps had indicated that the best, I want to find the right word, most appropriate approach is under open space.
That is correct.
Not under historic.
Right.
So that would be, the plan here is, there's this scope of language that Chuck and I worked on to put together as part of the application. The request to this board is just a letter of support.
Yeah.
We feel would probably be the most best use, best next step. And then the manager's office, in tandem with approval from the selectmen, would lead the application and the project.
Excellent.
Yeah, very excited that they're going to champion it.
Right. So they would be the ones to make the application, as you just said.
Correct.
But we could just have a letter of support.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We are absolutely thrilled about doing that.
Make a
So
motion. Oops, sorry.
do I have a recommendation to
I make a motion
motion?
that we send a letter of support to the general manager's office, and should we include the selectmen, John, or John?
If you send it to the manager's office, we're going to present the entire package to the selectmen.
Okay,
so that
all
would be
right.
this.
Okay, so I make a motion, we send a letter to the general manager in support of hiring a landscape architect for this park.
The drywall. Gotta have the drywall in there.
I'm going to second that.
Right.
And do we can do discussion now.
Yes.
Upon close examination over the years, that has been fixed with mortar. And the pillars are not completely drywall. They are mortared to hold them together.
I know that
But the
the
wall
wall
itself
itself.
is the drywall, and we're fully aware of that.
Right.
And that's why we want an expert to come in there and tell us how we can
Right.
go about making it happen.
The two pillars,
Mhm.
there are two that, and they, where the entrance
There's
on
two-
Bellevue Avenue, and there's also one on the other side.
Well,
But
it's all gone.
completely broken.
And we noticed that, and we, between the three of us, recommended that part of the thing that we would ask the architect would be, can we replicate that on the bond
On
sheet?
this website. Thank you very much. That's what do I hear a second? You
I
seconded
seconded
it.
Just one other point, since this is going to be a CPA application. So if the commission provides a letter of support, that's great. Do they need any other letters of support? Like sometimes they want 2 or 3.
I think that would be feedback we would receive after the pre-application
Okay.
process. This is sort of a preemptive
Okay.
measure since
Yeah.
we're discussing it.
Because I could think of, say, for example, the VFW, and it's the parade route to the cemetery we go by, actually on Winter
You see
Street.
it there?
Well, yeah, you do,
Yeah.
you do,
And then
so,
the pillars would be restored there, at
Right.
that end as you come up.
right, you know, so.
I
just
don't
saying.
think it would hurt. I don't think
Okay.
additional ones would
Yeah.
hamper the project.
And before I close discussion, I'd just like to give a shout out to some of the other people that have been maintaining the park as an abutter. The Public Works Department has gone in, there's been a couple of dangerous trees that they've taken down, and they're managing it very well, I think. And a shout out to the Trails Committee, because a lot of people, I see a lot of more people taking advantage of the beauty of the park on walks. Of course, dog walkers still walk their dogs, and for the most part, they're all very conscientious, and I thank those dog walkers personally. When I walk in the park, I don't have to watch out as much. But the use of it, the way it is just increased because I think we all appreciate a little nature. So for the Trails Committee to bring attention to it as a viable place to take a stroll,
Yep.
it's wonderful.
It's good.
Do I have a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thanks for your time too, Chuck, on the meetings.
Yeah,
It was
appreciate
very-
it.
It was very enlightening.
Thank you, Trevor.
And Mark Ryan, of course, was
No,
just,
thank you.
he's just got such a broad knowledge of big
Yeah,
issues.
he's got the global vision of the town, yeah, he does.
And the last issue is, on the agenda, is the Moss House. Tony?
Well, actually, it was an update on any progress from a few weeks ago when I met with the manager.
So I know a scope of work is being prepared and going out for exterior work, Jason, is that correct?
It's exterior, it was based on, we had Paul Riccardi do some work previously to see what he thought needed to be done in the building to bring it up to standards that would be in keeping with, the historic nature of the Morse House. So it might include some masonry, possibly the windows. I think I was in that discussion with you about modern windows versus historic ones, so we're keeping a few options in play to keep within that, to see what we can get done with that $185,000.
Thank you, yeah, if you just keep us in the loop, yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you so much, appreciate that. Under new business, went to the planning board hearing regarding the governor's mansion. And the new owners who have the property for 5 years have not really respected, in my view, the home at all. Windows are broken, vagrants have been in there. Front door was wide open in order for town officials to go in, and they saw what was happening. And I'm wondering if there's anything that the town of Norwood could do, even though it's already owned by this Invest Limited Liability Company. They purchased it for $1.4 million. July 22nd, 2020. And here it is, over 5 years later. But people have called, members have even gone by the house. It really is deteriorated progressively so. So I just wrote this memorandum to the board and also to the Board of Selectmen and also to the planning board, it's a memo, and to see if you can discuss some of the issues that are on here. There are some other mansions nearby. The Oliver Ames, Governor Oliver Ames home in Easton, the Robert Bennett Fobbs House and Museum. The house is a museum in Milton, and the Endicott Estate in Dedham. Now, 289, if you go online and look at it, you can see the interior. Well, I don't know what your thoughts are, or if you have any thoughts on this, and I'll just go around the room and see what you have to say. Joe?
Sorry, I have to go. Sorry.
But thank you for coming this morning. Tony?
So I just want to say that I share your great disappointment regarding the building, and I really appreciate your passion about the house, and I share it, you know, and I think it's good for the public to hear that the Historical Commission is greatly disappointed. But because we don't own it, and because Norwood would not, and it really doesn't work, and you know, a demolition bylaw, we don't have a pause button on historic buildings.
That doesn't mean anything.
I know, it doesn't stop anything. So it's, our hands are, we're very frustrated, but our hands are tied. If the public wants to know, how are we allowing that? It's because legally, our hands are tied. And I could cry when I go by that building. That's in my neighborhood. I live a few blocks from it. I see it all the time. And it's just suffering from benign neglect. I mean, you can see it inside and out.
For 5 years, it's been
But,
neglected.
but it's not for sale. I don't think it does not qualify for an eminent domain possession. It's not like, no, it needs it to build a road or whatever. It's just one of those frustrating situations. I'm shocked that a new owner would treat the property this way. I don't know why they bought it, if this was the way they were gonna treat it. But,
According to the planning board, they want to take the clapboard off and put stucco.
that was their preference, a stucco exterior, which I don't think met the bylaw that was passed for it to keep
Right,
its
because-
outside architecture integrity and everything.
Right, because go ahead, Joe.
No, you
I was
finish.
just gonna say, the bylaw says without, like, harm to the exterior.
Right, the sidewalk view was supposed to still be
Right, historic.
similar.
But that's what was in the bylaw, but that's not what is.
I think we suffer from a lack of information about the whole project. I remember when we passed it at town meeting, and then it sat for 4 years or something, with nothing happening. And then there's been a flurry of activity this year. They tore down they cut down all the trees, they started planting. Something's going on up there.
Yeah, something.
And perhaps it's, you know, as you said, our hands are tied, but certainly all that work, demolition, rebuilding, required the building permit. And my thought is, well, maybe we could get some insight into the project through the report or the help of the building commissioner. She certainly, they have to pull the permits to get there. And I know it's their job to check to make sure the work's being done right. And I don't mean to put a lot of extra work on them, but maybe you could just give the commission, because we have such a vested interest, and at least the exterior of the building, which we want to keep for historic purposes, maybe he could give us some insight of how it's progressing, what their intent is. Or perhaps they're being laggard and they're not following. You know, you have timelines. You have to get things done in a certain prescribed amount of time in order for the permits not to expire. So they might be running dangerously close to that. Maybe that's why they did a little work. I don't know. I'm just speculating. You know, I was in favor of keeping the exterior and, you know, sure, it's private property and they can make something of it. But it's disappointing to see how it's just open. And perhaps dangerous.
May I clarify the request? Just, so the building commissioner convey the applications that are on file and then to provide a status update to the commission?
So I Actually, I would like to have a discussion or something with the Board of Selectmen, because they're the caretakers and guardians of our town. And this has been happening for 5 years. The deterioration and it's been progressively gotten worse. It hasn't gotten better. You know, the third floor that had that broken window, it's open. It's open now. I
Well,
mean, if you have a rainstorm, it's gonna go in there and go down the
can
wall.
I ask a question on this business or vagrancy? Is that someone who was in there recently?
The building commissioner and the deputy fire chief went into the building, and he sent me an email regarding it. He said that the front door was open, and they just walked in. But I went to retrieve it, and it has been deleted. So I don't know. He
Oh, I
said-
might still have it, I could check, but there was definite, the owners thought that it was empty, but there was definite evidence of vagrancy occupation in the house, and of drug use, and of illegal electrical hookups, and fire code.
I guess the question would be, is it still happening? So, like I said, there's been a flurry of activity, and maybe
No.
they've addressed those concerns.
The building commissioner got a hold of the owners, or the owner's real estate representative, whoever was supposed to be caring for the house, and he had pictures, and Judah sent them to me. I might still have them, I don't know, I might. And it was very, very sad, you know, people sleeping on the floors and stuff, like, it was a free-for-all in there. It was very scary.
And food.
Well, speaking to John's point, then maybe it'd be nice if we could get an update.
Yeah.
Is that what you're looking for from the
Yeah,
building
yeah, and-
commission?
Find out what's going on.
With the
And one more,
building
right.
commissioner and the deputy fire chief.
One good point about that with the commissioner, even though we don't own it, because it is very historic, and because I had been in the house before, albeit when it was a doll museum and when the previous owners had it, there's some glorious woodwork in there, and, you know, so I don't know what the plans are to destroy the inside.
Then when I got it.
So I'm wondering though if there's a mantles that could be spared intact, you know, things like that, that maybe we could be interested in inquiring, you know, about.
Yeah, or maybe the plans are to incorporate some of that into each unit.
They could, but
I've
I
seen
don't
that
know.
done. But that's what I'm saying, if we get an update from the building commissioner
Right.
as to what the intent is, because he's dealing with the owners, I'm sure.
Right.
And if it's bad, if it's open to the public and it's not secured, that's one thing, that's a whole selectmen's issue there.
Well, supposedly that was taken care of.
Well, we don't know.
Well, they
Right,
put two
so
chairs.
Just get some answers would be very helpful, I think, in our thinking.
And if you Google 289 Walpole Street, you'll see many pictures of how the interior
Yeah.
looks.
Right, because when it was for sale, it was on Zillow and Redfin and
Yeah,
stuff.
but 1.4, the town should have bought it, it was a no-brainer.
Well, yeah, I know.
Well, it would have
Unfortunately,
been,
yeah.
even if they did nothing, but just open it up, it would be better than
Yeah.
what's happening now.
Well, we didn't know this was gonna happen. Hindsight, as they say, is 20/20.
Okay.
It's
I can do
really
that.
sad.
Okay, thank
I
you.
don't want to burden anybody.
So,
I know,
do
it's
I
the last
hear a motion to adjourn? If anybody doesn't have anything else.
Good.
Anybody else?
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Yep.
Good.
10:55.
Thank you.
And
Aye, we're all aye.
Aye.
Aye.